Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tara T and I own Old Soul Factory Crochet Things, and I'm here to talk to you about something big that I've been asked a lot about, and that is branding 101 for you guys. So I'm going to show you how to make your brand completely filled with personality yet polished and professional using these 5 main steps. So step number 1 is just defining your brand identity. You need to keep in mind that these are the core values in what your brand stands for, what you're working towards, and all of these goals that you're setting for yourself basically for your brand. The first one under this category is values. This is what your brand stands for, what you value the most, how you want to represent yourself to your audience and to your consumers through these values. So like my values are community, generosity, and then self-love. I just want to build a big old community. I want to show self-love. I want to be generous by showing you guys everything that I've learned throughout this entire process and through my day job of being a graphic designer and a marketing person, so I can share that with you guys and you guys can learn and grow from that as well. The second one is mission. Everybody should have a mission statement for their crochet business or any business in general. Whenever you're creating a business, this mission statement is basically just 1 sentence or 2 sentences sometimes that just sums up what your business is 100% about. This is really important if you go to make like a brand kit later down the line to send to businesses or to present your company to people, or sometimes even whenever you sign up for particular craft shows, they ask you a lot about your business and what your business stands for, and a quick mission statement would handle that completely. I'm getting really nervous. So if I'm reading from over here, I promise it's just because I'm frazzling myself. But my mission statement's just creating crochet plushies and showcasing my life as a part-time crochet business and all of my free time for all of my community here on YouTube. So something like that, just simple, brief, straight to the point to showcase how your business is going to work and what it's about, is just super simple for your mission statement. Number 3 is vision. You want to have a big vision for your business to inspire both yourself for all of your future goals and for your viewers to also help you push towards those goals or help them set their own goals as well. So these are just basically what you see your business like in the next 5 years. What big goals are you working towards? If you're working towards a YouTube partner, or if you're working towards, you know, selling 2,000 at a like a market or something, or you want to get into your dream market to sell all of your beautiful crochet creations, this is exactly where this mission would come in. You just want to set some goals or not mission, your vision, and you just want to set some goals to also be pushing towards and working towards for the future for yourself and your business. So like my vision is just to create an environment for people to feel safe, learn something new, share a common passion, all while embracing themselves and just being unique. So that is a huge part of your business, and everybody should have that just to keep yourself and again your audience motivated. The 4th thing is personality. You want to have a big personality, but you also want to have a defined personality for your business. You want to make sure that you're sticking with this, whether it's through customer interactions, whether it's for your graphics, your videos, any of that. You want to make sure that you're very consistent on your personality and your brand. My personality is just bubbly, fun, and positive, basically. I just want to have good customer interactions, no negativity or drama, and I just want to, again, just be a positive person for people to come view or to watch or to take their minds off of things. So I try to just project that at all times for my audience, which is not too hard to do lately. So I just want to share that with you guys. If you have like a totally different tone, like you're more of like an elegant like ASMR kind of crochet channel, or very like moody kind of channel, then your personality might look a lot different than mine. If you set up your own retail space and you're moving into that, and it's more of like time lapses and like even the music in the background can help define your personality for your brand as well. So those are all things you need to keep in mind as you're working on your business and projecting yourself out there to your audience. The 5th thing is just what sets you apart. You want to make sure that you have this very clearly defined for your brand, whether it's, are you like very sustainable in your packaging and products? Are you completely handmade, which most of us are? Are you helping like with part of your proceeds to go to like charities or something? whatever like you sets you apart from others really helps your brand be unique and stand out, and it helps you sell yourself as well to your audience. So like a big one for me, like I said, is I want to start sharing more of like the branding and the social media side of things. That way you guys can also get some more of that information and those tips. That way you can just soak all those up and also use them for your own businesses. So I think that's something that people don't talk about enough, and I would like to think that, you know, sets me apart a little bit more from my, like, not necessarily competitors, but my fellow crocheters in this very niche industry. And so that's something that you need to keep in mind for your business as well, whether it's a certain kind of wearables, a certain kind of patterns, a certain kind of animals, whatever it is, that's what sets you apart, and you need to also like capitalize on that for your business. So again, those were my 5 things for my business. That just, all of these things help you go ahead and define your business and what you want your business to become. These are very important things whenever you get down the line, whether you have to make like business plans, if someday you have to take out a loan as well, you're gonna have to have all of this information pretty much. Even like certain crochet markets ask for some of this information about more of your business, and it's super helpful and just puts you a step above everybody else. If you can go ahead and have all of this listed out somewhere in a graphic to send over with them whenever you're signing up for like market boosts and that kind of thing, that might also help you get into like your dream markets and stuff. If you really seem very professional and put together and you have all of this already written out. And like I said, the biggest reason I started doing this was because I was filling out media kits as well, and that I just wanted to have all of this in one spot. That way I could also look back on it and feel inspired by it and remember like what I'm working towards for my own business. So that was just step 1 on brand identity. So as I said, we're jumping straight into step 2 of this little branding 101. And the next step is knowing your audience. Knowing your audience is a huge key part of your business and what your business stands for. And so you need to know your audience in order to connect with them. Most of us are all gonna have the same sort of audience for the most part. It's very just crafty people, but you need to keep in mind and research your audience and know some things. So like the crafting community are very, very, very active online. It's really hard to share like your art in person almost, unless you have like local crafting circles or local crochet meetups and that kind of thing. It's just really hard to get together in an in-person setting. So online presence is a really big deal for this community, and they really like to be active, they like to be involved, they like to join Facebook groups for crocheters, they like to join Discords for crocheters and that kind of thing. So they're really active online. So you need to know your audience, and you need to know kind of the age ranges as well, because definitely a younger audience is going to gravitate towards more of the trendy things that relate to their niche, and the older audience is definitely going to relate to more of the long form content, I feel like, to binge watch, in my opinion, at least based on my YouTube statistics. That's just what I've found. But again, everybody's different and everybody's audience is different as well, so it really just depends on your audience. But once you create your YouTube channel, you can all see that in the YouTube Studio app, which is really helpful as well to help you better connect with your audience in the future. Speaking of Discord, I just wanted to real quick say that I did end up setting up my YouTube members, which is super exciting. And so we have 3 different levels of YouTube members that you can go check out, and the highest tier, the Sparkle members, do have access to my Discord personally. We talk about free patterns, crochet, we're going to talk about inspiration, I'm going to give more social media tips. If you're like, I don't know why this video didn't do good compared to my others, I have a channel in there where you can share that kind of information as well, and we can discuss it, and I can give you feedback if you're open to it as well. And you'll also have access to any patterns that I have or will make in the future as well, which is super exciting for you guys. So if you want to join, feel free. There's just a little join button in my channel profile, so you can go over there if you want to check that out as well. The next step is defining your brand's voice and tone. This is another big thing I think people skip over a lot of the times, but it's something that needs to stay consistent. So your branding, whether it's your thumbnails or your color palette and that kind of thing, unless you're doing a full rebrand, it needs to stay pretty consistent throughout the entire like process or all of your uploads and stuff. If you change it up and like, say most of my thumbnails are mostly like beigey with like the hint of pink and stuff, if I switch to like a green thumbnail, you guys would instantly notice and probably even scroll past it in your feed because you wouldn't even recognize it as my video. And so that's something you need to keep in mind. Your viewers want to know when they're getting ready to connect with you, basically. So you need to keep that consistent. It really helps draw your audience back in to reconnect with you in a way. You also need to think about this with like patterns and stuff. You can always tell when like your favorite pattern creators are releasing patterns because they have like the same text or the same format. I like to think of my mom, Stacy Makes, here on YouTube. She has several patterns now that she has out on her Etsy, and I'll put like a little picture here real quick for you guys. But they all have like the same like vibe and effect across all of them. So that's really important too. That way that people know when they're scrolling on Etsy even, that they can identify that that's like my mom's pattern, because that's like her pattern template, you know? And another big one's like my intro. I have an intro obviously at the beginning, and I have an outro at the end of all my videos. And so that's also really important, maybe to invest in yourself and set that up as well. That way you can have another piece of your branding that helps people connect it with you whenever they start a video or something like that. The fourth step is crafting a visual identity for your brand. So they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and when it comes to branding, it speaks volumes. So you need to keep this in mind as you're building your business. You want both your logo, your typography, and you want like your color palette to all resonate with your brand. That way you can be putting your best self out there, and you can be putting your brand out there at all times. I clearly have a very specific color palette. I'll put my logo up here real quick, but this is my logo, and I use all of the colors in this logo to help you guys identify like my thumbnails, my graphics, my, what else? Like literally any piece of content that I put out will have this color palette and this theme and this vibe to it. That way you can help identify it back to me. I use the same fonts on all of my graphics and thumbnails. That way you can also help identify all of that with me as well. And typography, if you've not researched it, is like a huge marketing deal as well. Different vibes. I mean, there's more elegant fonts, obviously, there's more playful fonts, more whimsical fonts. That's something that you can really dive into and help incorporate into your logo and stuff. That way people can also instantly pick up on that vibe whenever they see your branding as well. With that in mind, I really suggest that whenever you create a logo, most people make their logos, I feel like, on Canva or like logo generators. I would suggest finding your own fonts and not using the fonts that are actually in the logo template themselves. I feel like a lot of just type in their names on there and then they save it, maybe change the color, and that's it. And then I feel like I see a lot of the same logos when it comes to like the same kind of content. If you even just change the logo and the typography to fit your theme and your vibe and stuff, I feel like that makes so much more sense for brands whenever people do that. But again, that's totally up to you guys. It's something I would personally recommend for branding and logo use. That way it also helps your brand stand out more and people instantly kind of get a vibe for your brand. I'm gonna read off a couple more quick tips that I jotted down as I was like researching all of this stuff. So another one is scroll through the internet to find a color palette that'll work for you and what your business stands for. You can clearly tell in like my color palette and my logo again that like it has a very retro kind of disco-y feel, and that's exactly what I wanted to go for. Since it's like old soul, I wanted everything to be like kind of retro-y themed, especially since that's really popular right now. I feel like that's really helped me out too. And so I just love my vibe that I've created with like all my logos and graphics. And so that was like a huge deal for me. If you're more of like, if you only make like plant hangers, I would suggest a color palette more like this, more like greens or blues and stuff to help bring in that tone a little bit more. Or if you're like more whimsical, like I said, a beautiful like color palette like this with like purples and stuff like that automatically helps me identify your brand with like what personality is as well, which again goes back to that first step, which helps set your brand up to be recognized down the line in the future. Another big one, another big tip I should say that I feel like really helps people out is just investing in themselves again in just some high quality photography. You want your photography to be consistent on all of your brand pictures and stuff. That way, whenever your Instagram grid lines up, it all looks very consistent. Personally, I don't use a lot of pictures since I actually do markets and I don't do Etsy either. It's really easy to make a consistent brand though by making sure that either your like background's always blurred. Some people always have like the white lines around their plushies that are really cute, or they'll have a heart with their logo down in the corner or something, or their Instagram handles like in white lined up against the plushie, like curved around it. really cute stuff. So find something that's unique to you that helps people automatically identify your pictures, especially if you're going to be posting most of your stuff on Etsy or most of your stuff on Instagram as well. This is a huge deal for those social media platforms, and people love consistency. Speaking of consistency, step number 5 is just creating consistency and trust with your audience. Whether it's your website that you're uploading your stuff to, the days that you upload videos, all of your branding again or content, these are all very big deals, because the more consistent you are, the more somebody can trust you. You have to kind of think back to like Amazon. If you go on Amazon and you see like really inconsistent pictures or inconsistent lighting, you're automatically going to kind of have a red flag. People do the same thing whenever they're looking at homemade items. Try to have consistent lighting across like all of your pictures and everything, like I mentioned, and just create that sense of loyalty and trust with your consumer right off the bat, and it'll help sales for your business. So again, that was 5 big steps that help you just connect with your audience and build your brand to start your business. All of these steps apply like in the future even. These are things I keep in mind and I've kept in mind since day one, and I feel like that's why my channel and my socials have done pretty well. My branding's been very consistent, especially on YouTube, since that's what I've mostly focused on, and I feel like that's why I've succeeded in this area so far. So these are just things that I've learned throughout the process and that I just wanted to share with you guys. That way, if you didn't really know where to start, this was a great place to start for you. And I just hope that you can keep this in mind, come up with a creative name, come up with a creative logo, and just start putting your content out there. That's the biggest thing I think people just get scared of. Just start. People don't know where to start. So if you research all of this, put it all together, build your brand, just start putting stuff out there, okay? I promise, even if you have to learn through trial and error like I did, it's super beneficial and super helpful, and I totally believe in you, and I cannot wait to see what you come up with. So I thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Please remember to like this video, comment down below if you have any other questions for me. I would love to answer them down in the comments, as this is something that really hits home for me and I love to discuss. So I would love to discuss it down in the comments with you. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, as I post every Tuesday, and I cannot wait to see you guys next Tuesday. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys so much, and if you need me, you know where to find me, and I will see you next time. Bye!